everyone, happy Thursday. Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners, and I'm here every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. It is a time that we can relax and craft together. So this is kind of our free week where we just kind of work on random things. Tonight we are working on the Rooster embroidery. We colored it in with colored pencils last night and started stitching it. I want to finish stitching it quickly today, and then we are going to make a crocheted hoop. I had to do a little test here just to see if I could figure out how to do it again. But it will look like this. It'll be like a cute little crocheted edging around our whole piece. So that is the plan for tonight as well, to stitch that up, at least get that going, get that started. We may have to finish the crochet tomorrow, but we'll do our best to see how far we can get today. So that is the plan. Let's get stitching. All right, everyone. So thanks for joining again. I'm going to shimmy sham this phone over. There we are. Okay. So here's where we left off last night. I got my needle minder here. We colored in our rooster with colored pencil. Then we pressed it with a paper towel. Pressed it with an iron, but with a paper towel on top. That will get like the wax out of the colored pencil, and it just kind of leaves the pigment. And then we started embroidering around it, and I'm going to finish embroidering it first. We're almost done, and then I am going to crochet a hoop for this. I'll take this out. I just wanted to test it to see if I could figure out how to do it again. But we'll use the hoop here. But that's the plan tonight. Since we've had crochet on the brain from finishing up this doily the other day, so we're like, how can we combine crochet and embroidery together? And so we're gonna basically make kind of a tiny doily around our piece. So it's kind of mimics the idea a little bit. I think you could take that further, this idea further, and we could even get more decorative and more crochet off of this. But for now, for this little piece, we'll keep it simple. So to start out, we need to finish up the embroidery. So I'm going to just chill and get some more back stitches done here. So all we really need to do is this outline with this goldenrod color. And then we have black for the tail, the eye, and his little feet, and then that's it. I do want to make a little kind of back for this. I'm making it for John's mom, so I want to make a little back with her name on and, you know, from us and whatever. But I think I'm going to just write it with a marker, like a permanent marker, on another piece of fabric. But I think we'll do that tomorrow. Like, I'd rather get to crocheting today. Oh, Jacob's asking, hello, wondering if cross stitch was easy to get the hang of. I think definitely. I actually did cross stitch before embroidery. I think a lot of people end up doing that as well. I'm diving into the cross stitch world a lot more, like on Facebook and all that, just, you know, getting into groups and that sort of thing. And you can deep dive into cross stitch, and there's like tons of techniques and tips and all that. So like any craft, you can go full in and then there's like a lot going on. But at its basic, you are just stitching X's on fabric that already has like perfect squares on it. So you're going from one corner to the other, and then the other corner to the other to make an X. And you're just like looking at your pattern to see what color X's go where. So at its most basic, yes, it is. I think definitely easy to get the hang of. I would even say maybe a little bit more easy than embroidery to get the hang of. But with embroidery, like what we're doing here, it's going to be a lot faster, and you're going to have quicker wins. So it's a little different. We're not stuck to a grid like we are with cross stitch, which lets us go in any direction. And I kind of feel like this is more like coloring, like we're going along the lines or on a shape. Cross stitch is more like computer pixels that are being revealed, like an 8-bit video game that's revealing itself. And it just takes a long time to fill in a shape. So if you're filling in a shape with embroidery, it totally takes a long time too. But a lot of times with embroidery, you're not completely filling in the shape, and you can fill in an area, I think, quicker than cross stitch. So that's a long answer, but for the short answer, yes, cross stitch should be relatively easy to get the hang of quickly. That was still had a lot of extra words in there. Short answer, yes. And I do want to do some cross stitch here at some point too. I want to actually do up a pattern. I think that would be kind of fun. There's some like good cross stitch software out there that I've been playing around with, but I'm just not done with anything. But yeah, so one of these free weeks, maybe next month's free week, maybe I'll have something done by then, and we'll have to do some cross stitching. I think that'd be fun. All right, so if you're just popping in, we are going to finish up the stitching on this little rooster, and then I want to hop in to crocheting a outer hoop for it. This is just my practice, just to figure out how to do it again, but we're going to make like a hoop that is crocheted, kind of like the doily that we just finished here. So we're going to just basically make a decorative edge for this hoop for funsies. I've only ever done it once before, and that's the one that I just showed on that Sweet Tweets design. Oh, Caitlin says the thing to remember about cross stitch is despite hundreds of tutorials, there is no right way to do it. I am finding that to be more and more the case as I go through it. So you're going to have, like the quilt police, you're going to have the people just telling you that this is the best way, this is how it's done. But yeah, in reality, it's a literal X on fabrics, on fabric that is most typically already has the square laid out for you. So you don't even have to decide on the size of the X. You just go from point to point, and you got an X. So at the most minimum, it's that. But yes, there are all sorts of techniques. I just learned of a technique with cross stitch. Let me know if any of you cross stitchers have heard of this. I think it's called like the diagonal stitching technique. I don't quite understand it. I think I understand it, but I don't know why people like it so much. So which makes me think I don't actually understand it. But it's where they have like a really huge detailed piece, and they're stitching the whole thing on the diagonal, so like a 45-degree angle, like from like one side to the other side, and they'll have like all the colors kind of ready to go on deck, like parked on deck, and then they'll just like pick up that one color, do the stitch that's on that diagonal, and then like keep going. And for some reason they really, really like that technique of doing it. So I clearly don't quite understand it because I don't get the why of that, but like, dang, the more I dig into cross stitch, the more I realize that there are so many techniques and ways to do it that people like, and it's just fascinating. Oh, so there's like a Danish, Caitlin's like, there's the Danish method, not English method, and oh my gosh, there's just like all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I mean, all these crafts that we're doing are like hundreds, if not, thousands or whatever of years old, right? So, and they've traveled around the world in some fashion, right? So, or like have started in different parts of the world at different times, but generally doing the same thing, right? Similar technologies coming out at the same time, like a needle or whatever. There's a lot of time to come up with a whole lot of different techniques. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. There's definitely impossible for there to be just like one right way. Mary's asking, do I usually put a back on? I don't. Like, for example, like this one I don't have a back on. Wow, this one I stitched like forever ago. We're going to finish this one. I don't even have an example of a back on, but we're going to fold over the edge and stitch it. But what I want to do is put like a second piece on before stitching it so that my back is kind of covered up, and then I can actually write something on this. So I'm going to actually have two pieces of fabric that I will put in the hoop and then stitch this little like fold. This is my way to hold the fabric in place on the back. I'll stitch through both pieces of fabric for that. So yeah, I'll just put like this, put both in the hoop, and then do it. So it'll cover up the stitches, and then I can like write something on here, like to Colleen from Alyssa. Oh, I think I just lost all my floss. I'm gonna use the other half. Oh wait, no, did I just not take off all the pieces yet? Because this looks pretty thick yet. But anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. I don't usually do that, just because I'm usually stitching a design and then kind of moving on. In my case, I don't like. But if I'm gifting it, then sometimes I'll put a little back on with a little note. Sometimes I'll stitch the note, but I think this time I'm just gonna write it with a permanent marker. I have these Micron pens. This is a size 5. I typically like the size 01, which is smaller, but this is what I have here nearby. But that's a permanent marker that should stay on fabric. Okay, and I'm just getting all in a knot here. Debbie says with the diagonal cross stitch, doing it diagonal may be quick, but that's too complicated for me. See, I don't understand how it's quick, because you're changing colors all the time. Like in my head. So this is how I used to do cross stitch. Oops, sorry you guys. I did cross stitch when I was young. I haven't done cross stitch in a while, so that's why I'm kind of excited to do it again. Let's start with these. Well, let's start with the tail feathers. But I like starting in the middle-ish. I think that's controversial too, but I like starting in the middle-ish and kind of doing like all one color, or at least till I run out of the floss for that color. But so I have like speckles of one color all over, and then I like adding in another color. But now that I think about it, is that how I would do it now? Because then I'd be jumping around quite a bit. Maybe I would kind of do more than one color at once. Dang, I don't know. I'm excited. I haven't done it in a while, but yeah, now that I'm thinking about it and how I like embroider now, I kind of don't like jumping from one side to the other side just to get another color. Like even now, I'm going to do this black, but then I'm going to travel in the backs of these stitches and then do the black down here, so I'm not, if I still have thread left, this might take up all the thread, so I'm not just jumping down there and jumping all over. So I don't know, maybe I would do like what looks like a biggish section. Gosh, maybe I would do the parking method a little bit, like, and by parking method I mean like stitch some, like one of the one color, like if like a parking method for this would be like, okay, I'm done stitching the black, I'm gonna just kind of like, at the most basic, let's just stick my needle up here, and then I'm going to have a whole nother thread to do the red, and maybe I don't want to finish the red yet, so I'll put the needle with the red up there, and then I'll come back to black and stitch some more. So you just have like all your kind of colors just half stitched and ready to go. And I guess that's what those diagonal people are doing, but just on the diagonal. But like in my head, if I have a whole area that's one color, I would kind of just go at that color for a while and not just like stay so strict to the diagonal. Another way people do it is a lot of times they'll divide their fabric so that there's like blocks of 10. Because a lot of times on patterns, you got lines to divide your piece into like tens, like groups of 10. So really like 100 squares, right? Because 10 squares by 10 squares. And then it's maybe easier to orientate yourself on your pattern and on your fabric. So that kind of makes sense to divide up, and sometimes they'll even draw a grid of what 10 by 10 squares are. And then instead of doing it on like a hole, filling it in the diagonal, they'll fill in each square. So they'll park their floss a little bit because they're done with all of that color in that square, and then they'll start it up again. I could see maybe doing it that way. That feels like comfortable in my brain. But like I said, I have not done that before. Last time I cross-stitched, I think I did a little cross-stitch a couple years ago, but when I really cross-stitched, I was in like junior high, probably. Maybe even before then, 6th grade or something maybe. So I'm kind of stoked to get back into it. Debbie says I like easier projects that maybe take a month, not 2 years. So that's the other thing. Cross-stitch takes a significantly longer time than like all of the embroideries that I have here for sure. All of our penguin and fish embroideries. So that's something. If you're a crafter who likes working with thread and all that and following a design but wants a quick win, embroidery might be a hair better for that. Let's see. Oh, Caitlin says I stitch simple, so parking method is useless. Found Subversive cross-stitch patterns, and now I'm in love. So, yeah. So just like some simpler patterns where you can kind of jump around and just do all one color all at once. Yeah, I think the techniques shift a bit when you get to like the massively detailed, hundreds of colors, type cross stitches that are big and look realistic and all that. I think techniques shift a little bit when you get to that type of project. I have to check behind me. Oh no, I guess I don't have that up there. I have, I do. Oh my God, you guys. I'm going to do a show and tell right now. So I was cleaning out all the craft stuff. Oh, and here's where this thing went. So I don't know if Amy's here. She was talking about this. So here's where it was. So here's that thing that I was talking about. So I think Amy was talking about the lucette fork. This is that thing that I am talking about, those little like mushrooms you can get, but we made our own. Like my dad and mom saved all of the wood from building their house. So when we were little, we had all sorts of little pieces of wood. So we drilled in different holes. And this is like literally yarn from when I was in elementary school that I did like this cord out of. So this is kind of like the lucette forks. This is the thing that I knew I had somewhere. That I wanted to share that I found. But anyway, so I'll have to leave that out if Amy comes back. But look, here is the biggest, this is a cross stitch that I started when I was, oh God, who knows, a zillion years ago. Oh my God, what do I don't even know what's in here. Oh, this is like all the different cross stitches. Oh look, here's a kit I started. So this is like the typical cross stitches back in my day, were just like Christmas ornaments basically, or you get like super crazy giant big ones. So like here's this. The pattern's got to be in here. Oh, here we go. Oh my God, you know what, I haven't even looked through this. These are projects that I have to decide if I'm gonna ever finish or not. So here's one. We got ourselves a baby tiger. Here's where I'm at making a baby tiger. I might just like stop and like frame it like this. I think that's hilarious. And actually, now that I'm looking in here, it looks like I started another thing. I don't recall this one at all, but look at, oh my God. Oh, I'm attached. Oh, I got like a needle hiding up here. Oh, this is like a pretty fabric too. We got ourselves a loon. Oh my god. So let's see. It looks like I just did like little motifs at a time. So I wanted to do this little loon baby, then I did this loon baby, and it looks like I must have done like all of the black first and then started filling it in with like grays. Oh my god. And then I got this whole thing up here, which, oh, these are all just half stitches, so I haven't filled in the other half of the X's on any of these. It looks like I got greedy here, that I'm just gonna do all the first halves of the stitches, and then I'm gonna come back and do the other halves. That looks like what my thinking was at right there. That's funny to me that I can kind of conjecture what I was thinking through that. So that must be, oh, here we go, right there. Oh my god. So these are our choices back in the day, in like the late 80s probably, were Christmas ornaments or giant nature pieces. But I found this bag in the basement with all my craft stuff. So anywho, there's my cross stitch show and tell. So, oh my god, I didn't even remember that loon in there. I feel like seeing it, I feel like, yep, that's something I would have bought and attempted to do. So it's funny seeing it, but I don't recall. And it was actually really funny to me that I had all the half, because, you know, sometimes you do a bunch of, like if you're doing a row of stitches, sometimes you do one half, like all the halves going one way, and then the halves going back the other way. It looks like I was filling a whole space with just the first halves of it. And it looks like I was getting real greedy, because there's no way I would have ever, like, I must have just gotten sick of, like, I wanted, like, to fill the space quickly. I must have I was getting impatient. I can feel like that's a visual of me being impatient and just doing all of one side, and then with the intention of going back and doing the other halves. So that's just kind of funny to me. Oh, and Gina says, and precious moments, tons of precious moments. Yep. Yeah, so those are our literal choices. There are so many fun freaking choices nowadays for cross stitch and embroidery and crafts in general. Crafts in general are so fun these days. Like, there are so many neat, exciting designs out there now, and they're appreciated, at least by crafters, and then there's like new crafters, you know, making designs. Did you see that? I have to check into this, but I saw this on Facebook. But did you see apparently Target is selling, or maybe I think someone said it was free. Target has a free cross stitch design for what is it? The Hellfire Club, is that what it's called? So on Stranger Things, the D&D, the Dungeons and Dragons Club, is called like the Hellfire Club, I think, or the Hellfire something. And they made their own T-shirts and stuff for it, the kids. And apparently there's like a free cross stitch design on Target for what that T-shirt is. Like, what? That would have never, ever, ever, ever been a thing when I was little. And like now it's like, you know, pop culture. It's just fun. So I was going to look at that. I'm going to try and find that just to check it out. See if it really exists. But like, it looked like it was on Target.com as a free pattern. That's what it looked like when people were posting about it. So anyway, so many cool designs now. Oh, Del says, I have a huge cat face that I started at least 30 years ago as well. Oh my god, isn't it just crazy? So that's like one of those things like, what would it be like finishing this project? But like, I think with cross stitch, I think those just gotta go in the junk, because like, to actually finish, either of those cross stitches, like that tiger, which actually is pretty cute, like cute in a totally 80s corny way, and those loons, like those would take longer than it took me to do this doily. Like it would take 60 plus, or, you know, I wouldn't even know how to estimate, but it would take months for sure to finish those. And I don't even know, like, if I'd be able to decipher what floss is what anymore, and man, I don't know. So I think if I wanted to start with cross stitch again, it wouldn't be to finish those projects. It would be to play around and find some other fun, cute project, or I wanted, like I said, I wanted to like kind of design my own a little bit. Oh, Tracy, I think I missed your answer. Is it paint or chalk? I missed the question. Sorry. Let me scroll up. Oh, they're colored pencils. Oh, the colors on this. Oh, did I paint or chalk on the color? Oh, so this is that's right. Sorry, my brain is totally gone. It's on those old cross stitch. I'm in nostalgia land. I can't say that word either. But yep. So yesterday we did this. It is just colored pencil. And if I put my hand behind it, you can see the colors a little bit more. So we colored it in. You start really lightly and then just kind of add layers. And then when you're done coloring it, and you can use crayon, I use colored pencils. When you're done coloring it, just put a paper towel on top of it and then press it, and that will kind of like suck out the wax, but it'll leave the tint, leave the color, and then we're just stitching on the lines on top of it. Oh, thanks, Happy Cat Girl. Oh, that was what you thought, like the only Robin too is like the only thing to stitch was Precious Moments characters. I know, like the selection between like what we had and, you know, whatever, like the 80s, early 90s, I suppose, is when I was cross stitching. Vastly different than today, and today is just so exciting and far superior, and so many more techniques, and people, I don't know, people less, I think, strict in what exists out there and what techniques to use. Like, I think there's just more out there and more ways to play, and I don't know, I think it's exciting. And I think that's almost with all these kind of handcrafts. I feel like these days it's just, you know, people still like doing it. It's still fun and relaxing to do all these things. Like, it's not like a disappearing thing. And people are just really being creative with it these days, which is cool. Oh, Kathy says, I received my order today. Thanks for the mystery gift. Oh, you're welcome. And you guys, today we are doing that as well. If you're watching during our live, if you order $20 or more from the shop, I will throw in a free mystery gift. You don't need to put it in your cart or anything, and don't need a code. I will just add it in if you're in the live here. Oh, Christmas stockings. Caitlin says the Christmas stockings, we use it, moms are all elaborate cross stitches. That's definitely a trend I've seen too lately, is Christmas stockings that are entirely cross stitched, like the entirety of a Christmas stocking, the whole front cross stitch, and I'm just like, that's gotta take years. Or a lot of, like, you're watching like 40 TV series to finish that. I like to judge timing of crafts and how many TV shows it takes. Oh, hey, Mama, if you already added the gift to your cart, oh, that's fine. If you've already added the gift to your cart, as long as the rest of the cart adds up to $20, I'll just refund it. If you ordered and it's in your cart, I'll refund you for for purchasing the mystery gift. But yeah, good question. Oh, Catherine says, I see the free Target Hellfire cross stitch. Ah! They're showing it on the back of a jean jacket. That's awesome. I wonder if they teamed up with someone to do that, besides obviously the show. Like, they would have to license it. So here's where the business brain goes. Like, okay, they would have to license it from Netflix. They would have to license it from the show. design, and then they'd have to either internally have a target designer. They have tons of internal designers, but like to do a cross stitch pattern, they'd have to either do the design internally, or they'd have to hire someone to do the design, or Netflix hired someone to do the design, or there's a designer out there already that had it and then got in a whole licensing thing. I don't know. I'm just I think about like how big stores like that, when there's like Stranger Things and Netflix involved, there's a lot of behind the scenes shenanigans. So it's not like someone just did a Hellfire cross stitch and then it's up on Target. There's a lot going on with that. So that's just interesting. Decisions were made in that process, and why cross stitch, right? So that's just interesting. I'd listen to that story. Anyway, all right, you guys, we're done. We're done with the stitching here. Is your doily tatted? So no, this is actually cross-stitched, or not cross-stitched. Everything starts with a C today. It's crocheted. I used a small crochet hook, not this small, so actually a size slightly bigger than this. So this is itty bitty bitty. I used like this, and then a size 12 sewing thread to crochet it. So this is crocheted, and that's a little bit more of what we're going to do tonight. I do have a tatted version, though. So like this is basically a doily, right? A little snowflake. So this is tatted. So if you look really, really closely, you can see that the structure is a little different. So like these little rows right there of their little chain stitches of crochet look like their structure just a little bit different than these guys here. So they look sort of similar from far away. We got the same effect. We got a lacy little doily thing happening, but just slightly different process and different tools for sure. Alrighty. Oh, Sylvia says, great Rooster. Thanks so much. All right, so I'm going to take the outer hoop off for now because we're going to actually crochet around this, and we're going to get the crochet started tonight. I'm taking this out, well, first of all, because I need the outer hoop. I did start it on another outer hoop that I had, but just to test, to just see if I could do it. So I'm going to actually take it off of this, and we're gonna do it on this hoop. So here's, and again, what I'm going to do with this is I'll press it again, and then I have this second piece. I'm going to lay them on top of each other, and then I'll put it, when our hoop's done, I'll put it back in the hoop. Oops, jeez. On the inner hoop. I will put both fabrics back in the hoop, and this isn't centered, I'm just kind of showing you my thought process here. But we'll put it back in the hoop, center it all nice, and then see, so now my stitches are basically covered up. If I wanted them totally covered up, I could do a different color fabric or even another piece of fabric. I'm actually going to write like to Colleen from Alyssa on this because it's going to be a gift. I'm going to just write it on with a permanent marker. But then I'm going to cut this in a circle, and I will be weaving that circle, not weaving, but sewing in the edge, so that it'll be finished like this, basically the edge. It'll be folded to the back like this, and all held in place with stitches. So that's how I'm going to finish this, and then and then our outer hoop will have our fun little like crocheted edge like this on. So that's the plan right now. When will we get the strawberry containers again? I know we are totally out of our strawberries. That's let's see, do I have that nearby? Oh yeah, our little strawberry trays, they're so cute. We do have them ordered. I did order it, and the seller ran out, and they canceled, but I found another place to get them. So theoretically, the end of July. I know that's a ways away yet. I did order a bunch though, so I'm hoping maybe every once in a while it comes a little bit sooner. But I did order more because I just love them. I use them a lot. Okay. Oh, Amy says I dug my cross stitch out. looks similar to your bag of finds. I know, I should, I haven't even emptied that. That's literally been sitting in that plastic bag, all that stuff of cross stitch. It's been sitting in there for probably 20 years, honestly. So I should take it all out and see. So, all right. So I have my outer hoop here now. I'm actually going to take the screw completely out just because I think it's going to get in the way. And what we're doing again is we're gonna crochet the edge. So I'm gonna just take this off. This is my little test just to see if I could figure it out again. I have a little bit of orange yarn here. This is from some of my scrap yarn. I don't know if this will be enough, but I think I have more of this color, so we're fine. And I'm gonna use this crochet hook here. It's a 5.5 millimeter, an I9. It just seems like the right size for this yarn. Like it hooks easily. It doesn't seem like too big or too small, really. So, and I do have a tiny, tiny little pattern that I wrote out here for this based on looking at whatever the heck I did for this one and me testing it out a little bit. I don't know how accurate this is, but I'm going to go by this. So what I'm going to do is basically cast on and actually, that's knitting. Oh my gosh, I'm getting all my terms messed up. But I'm going to basically make a chain of stitches, but that's going to be like around the hoop. So instead of just like making a bunch of chain stitches like how you would normally start a crochet design, I'm going to do that, but sort of like around the hoop. And that's the part that's weird that I had to see if I knew how to do. So I'm going to do a combination, like a count of like 4 times however many times that fit on the hoop plus 1 more. So when we're done with the amount of stitches, I should have groups of 4 or counts of 4 with like 1 extra at the end. I think that's what I need for the design. And then here's like the scallop part, but we'll get to that. So the first thing I need to start off is just like getting these stitches on here. Alaskan Daisy, I'm watching the same exact hook to crochet a blanket. Oh, as you watch this, oh, that's awesome. Same exact hook. Yeah, I have this like little random thing of hooks. I don't even know where this is from or how I got this, but I just kind of keep them all in there. I don't have a huge selection of crochet hooks. All right, so I'm going to just start with my slip knot. So I don't know how like deep into this crochet stuff. So if you need me to show you something again, I do want to do like a little mini demo of crochet sometime. This is not that beginner crochet because it's actually really awkward stitching around this, but I think I got it figured out. So all right, I'm going to start with a slip knot. So I'm just going around my finger kind of to the back, and then I'm going to pull the loop through to the front, and there's my loop. All right, and get the hook in there. So, all right. So let's see. I'm gonna just kind of hold this here, and I'm gonna have the yarn go behind the hoop, and I'm just gonna wrap my finger around for tension, and getting my hand in position here. And now here's the deal. So this first one's going to be awkward. They're all going to be awkward, but that's fine. I'm going to go around through the hoop, and I'm actually going to catch the back of the yarn here. So I'm only dealing with the yarn that's in between like my hook and my finger here. So this yarn right there. I'm going to go around back. I'm going to grab from the back here. So normally in crochet, I actually kind of grab from the front. But in this case, I'm going to grab from the back because my stitches will line up a little bit easier for this. So I'm going to grab from the back, and I'm going to pull this whole thing to the kind of the top. So now I got my little slip stitch, and then or my little first chain stitch, and I got like this whole like loopy mess from like grabbing this thread and pulling it around to the front, right? And so I'm just going to kind of tighten my thread. You know, I can just pull my hand up and it tightens, and I'm just going to grab from the front. So before I grabbed from the back, now I'm going to grab from the left, I suppose. And I'm going to hook it and pull it all the way through. So pull it through that first loop and this second loop. There we go. And now I'm back to having one loop on my crochet hook, and these kind of loops chilling down here. So that's my first one. So let's do another one. As I do this, my stitches are going to like rotate down and under, but I'm always going to kind of pull them back to the top. So I'm going to go underneath again, grab from the back or the right side here, pull it up. So I got like these loops that I'm pulling up to the top again. So I got my old loop and then my new kind of loop. That's not really a loop, it's just two pieces of thread up there. And then I'm going to grab my yarn again, and actually I want to tighten it up so it's against the surface a little bit more, and then grab my thread and pull through both loops. And that's my second. And I can kind of shimmy sham these up. I think these ones are going to be the most annoying ones. But yeah, I'm going to leave like a little gap there. And there we go. We got our two little V's up there, two little chain stitches. Let's just keep going. Back. Pull through. That's 3. Get more thread around the back. Pull through both. So we are just going to do this around the whole thing. So hopefully this is making sort of sense. I think if you've done crochet before, it should look like sort of familiar. It's a little weird and awkward because we're not really making a loop. We're just like kind of pulling the thread around the bottom of the hoop, and it's going to kind of like mimic a loop, but it seems to be doing the job. So, and here's what we're going to be getting. We're getting on the inside, sorry, you can't see. On the inside, it's a bunch of straight little nice stitches, almost like we've wrapped around and around the hoop. And then on the top, we got our little chain stitch. And, you know, we'll shift all these up as we go. We can adjust. And, you know, they want to keep kind of rotating under because I keep bringing my hook under. So you just kind of got to keep them up on top and get over the little metal piece and blah, blah. It doesn't have to be perfect either. So anyway, so when I'm done, this 4 plus 1 that I had written down there, what I mean is like each one of these V's, like each one of these little V's is 1 stitch. I need groups of 4 and then plus 1 just right at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 1, 2, I'm going to need 3, 4, and we'll just keep doing it in little things of counts of 4 all the way around, and then I'm going to add 1 more. So this should get a little bit faster as you're going, but it is not awkward. Like, to go around this hoop like this is super annoying. But actually, now that I'm doing a few, it's not the end of the world. But you do have to keep shifting everything back to the outer edge. See, I'm pulling it all around to the side, and then I gotta pull it all right back up. I'm not pulling the thread through with this really loose here. I'm tightening it up so it's laying flat against the hoop. Let's get more yarn out of here. Oh, the bat is cute. Oh, thanks so much, Liz Lowercase. That's actually one of our embroidery patterns, and our embroidery kits. I think that was from like last year Halloween or maybe 2 years ago Halloween, and we have them as little notepads too, that little guy. So I think tonight we will, I'm going to try and at least get all the way around here. We'll see how, I mean, it's 9:14, but I don't think this will take forever. So I'm usually here from 8:30 Central Time to 9:30. Every once in a while we'll hang out a little longer. But yeah, so we'll see where this takes us. I figure I'll just go all the way around to where it looks nice, and then I'll count and see if I got that sets of 4, and then if not, I'll add 1 or 2. We can just squish things together. Oh, what I do here? Oh, I think I started to do a double stitch. I've like the doily that I just finished is almost all double stitches, so I have it in my head to like wrap the like for a double stitch, before you start your stitch, you wrap your an extra loop of thread around, versus, not looping that extra. And my body still wants to do that after doing a zillion of those for the doily. The doily is almost exclusive. Like this guy here is basically all double stitches and chain stitches. That's it. So if anyone's wondering if a doily is hard to do, not really. It's just, like I said, this one is just double stitches and chain stitches for pretty much the most part, except for like a little bit at the end. So if you can read double stitches and chain stitches, or crochets, double crochets, and I keep saying stitches, but double crochets and single crochets and chain stitches on a pattern, then you should be able to do a doily for sure. Oh, was that it? Amy said that the bat was a bonus pattern with the sugar skull jack-o'-lantern guy. Oh, interesting. I totally didn't remember. It is a little kit now, like one of the, like this size kit, but the bat. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we just had it as like a stick and stitch, didn't we? Something like that. This is actually cute, just like this. You could just stop with the one row if you really wanted to. But technically, after getting these chains on, we could do something as intricate as all this. I mean, I'm using fat yarn. I mean, that's the difference. But like, I could do more than just scallops. I could just keep going outward. Like, you could do like a whole sunshine or something. That'd be super cool. Okay, now I want to kind of design that, like a smiley face or something, and then do a doily outside that is like a big sunshine. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to make that now, you guys. A little happy face, and then like a doily on the outside to make it look like a sunshine. Oh my god, that'd be so fun. Okay, this is getting much faster. I'm getting into it now. Oh, Diana, that is so sweet. Diana says, I tell everyone about your show. That's sweet. I appreciate that. Oh, no, not of a Jack skeleton. T. Salas. I know that's not. You'll have to let me know how to do your name again. I feel like you might have told me once before. No, it's a sugar skull jack-o'-lantern, basically. What did we call it? Sugar skull lantern, I think. I can't say it. But yeah, so we have I think it's cute, a cute design. We have a kit for that. That was an embroidery of the month, maybe. Was that last year? No, I think that was 2 years ago. Crazy. Oh, Tracy. Okay, Tracy. All right, we are almost done with going around here. I think we'll have time to do scallops yet, which is awesome, because then, then if you got started on this tonight or whatever and weren't sure how to do the next part, the scallops, you'll know right after I do one. You'll just go around you'll just keep going. And I'm kind of squishing them on here, but I think as I get like up to here, I'll probably just kind of shimmy them around, just because like I think they're a little looser over here. And I can do that too once I'm got some scallops on. Like if some scallops look like they're tight together and some look like they're close, I can kind of shimmy sham those a little bit. But like here, I just kind of shifted it all over. I don't think you need to like really squish tons of stitches on here either. I mean, you'll just have more scallops that are closer together, which is fine. This is going to look pretty on this design, I think. My brain is totally on crochet. I actually missed crochet quite a bit. Oh, thanks, Diana. I actually missed crochet from just like the one day of not doing crochet, because I've been working on that doily on and off, like 5 minutes here and there throughout my day. And like today I didn't have it to work on, so I'm like, oh my god, do I start another one, or what other project do I have just around that has that same feeling that I can just like pick up and stitch for a little bit? So I don't know. I do have that knit snake, but like I feel like that's a little bit more intense as far as my attention goes compared to the doily, and so I almost want to start another doily. Oh, I know what keeps popping in my head. I'm like, oh, you know what? I shouldn't start another doily. I should get some of these tatted snowflakes done. Like, I want to kind of get into tatting again now. That's usually where that conversation in my head ends up. Like, oh, I should get tatting going again, and then I don't do anything. So maybe this weekend I'll have to break all that out again and see where I'm at with that project, making all those snowflakes. I need something to sit around that I can just pick up on and stop whenever project. All right, I'm gonna do like 3 more here, and then let's do a count, or maybe I'll do a few more. We'll go up to like halfway past this metal bit. And all these extra ends, like I'm gonna have an end, this little dangly deal here. I'll just take a needle and weave that in later. All right, I'm gonna do 1 more, and then let's do our count. I need that 4 + 1 situation going. All right, and I can just like pull this loop up like there, and that loop can just hang out while I do this count. So first I'm just gonna kind of see that everything's kind of equal across. So all right, I am counting V's here, so I'm just gonna count them in groups of 4. I don't need to know how many groups of 4, I just need it to be a group of 4 and then +1. So, and if I screw up, it's gonna be, this is big yarn, you're not gonna ever notice if I count wrong. But okay, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. I'm like paranoid doing this. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. To bear with me. 4, 4. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3. So I need 1 more, and then I need that +1. So I really need 2 more. So this one will complete one of those 4s. And then I need that +1. So let's add 1 more. There we go. Okay, so this is our, I'm going to just lift this up for a sec. Let's get some more yarn out here. This is our first row, basically. So I'm just going to kind of shift everything again, and we can always kind of adjust this. There we go. I did leave a little bit of a gap, but I can always shush that closer to the edge later if I want. So all right, that is row number 1 of our crocheting onto the embroidery hoop. It's already cute. Like we could stop there. It's totally cute. All right. And then let's see. Here's my sort of proposed second row. So this is from looking at the one that oops, wow, that was loud. This one's from what I already did. I don't know where I originally saw this, but I just kind of looked at this and tried to figure it out. So I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to switch directions. So I'm going to come back the other way, and I'm going to skip the first stitch. Then I'm going to do 5 double crochets. So this is, yeah, we got a lot going on here. So 5 double crochets in the next stitch. Then I'm going to skip another stitch and do a single crochet. And we're going to just repeat that section all the way to the end. So that's the theory here. All right, so I am going to get some slack here again. And you could do like a zillion different designs at this point. Now that I have chain stitches on here, I could do whatever, really. Oh, Sheila, I love that idea. A little duckling for the farm animals. I kind of want to do a goat, too. Like, I feel like I'm missing a goat. But a duckling, that sounds cute. Yeah, we could do like a duckling and a goat. We don't have a duck design, do we? That would be a cute design in general. All right, let's I'm going to get my little instructions out here for myself. Okay, one chain stitch. So there we go. And now I'm going to rotate my whole piece because now I'm going to go back this way. Okay, I'm going to skip the first one. So not the chain stitch I just did, but this first one here. Gosh, I almost want to skip another one, but we're not. Okay. 5 double crochets in next stitch. So, all right, I'm going to do 5 double crochets in this stitch here. And to do a double crochet, I wrap around the hoop, my hook once, and then I'm going to put my hook through this V right there. So this is the first, I have the chain that's next to the hook, and then I'm skipping one because that's what I had in the instructions, and then this V is our first one. So I'm going to do a double crochet, so I'm going to wrap it around my hook, and then I'm going to go underneath that V. So my hook is under the V right now. We're going to catch my thread and bring it back up through the V. There we go. Now I should have 3 loops on there. I'm going to grab my thread again, bring it through the first 2 loops, and then grab the thread again and bring it through the second 2 loops. So that's a double crochet. I'm going to do 4 more of those in the exact same hole there. So the exact same hole. So I'm going to go around once, and then I'm going in that exact same, where that V was, grab my thread and pull it through. Now I'm going to grab the thread again, pull it through the first 2 loops, grab the thread again, and pulling it through the last 2. I wonder if I can just do 3 instead of 5. Let's see. Let's do one more. Wrapping around through that same hole again with that V. Grab the thread, first 2 and second 2. So we could either do like little scallops like this, or we could do all 5 yet. I'm kind of undecided. So this has 5 double crochets to make this, and it's actually kind of cute. But I think this thread is quite a bit thinner. Let's see. I think I'm going to keep it simple. Let's just do 3. So I'm going to change this to, I don't have a pencil. Yeah, I do. I have colored pencils. What am I talking about? I'm going to change this to 3. So we're going to just make little itty scallops. I think this will go a lot faster too. All right, so we did 3 double crochets in the next stitch, which normally that would be called a chain, I think. I think I'm screwing this up. Okay, so then I'm going to skip the next stitch, which is this one, and then I'm going to do a single crochet in the next one here. So I'm not going to wrap around again. That's only for a double crochet. So for a single crochet, I'm just going to leave the one thing on the hoop. I'm not going to wrap around the hook. I'm not going to wrap around like this. So just like this. Let's find our next V. So we're going to skip this V because that's what it says in the instructions, and we are going to do a single crochet in the V that comes after that. So I'm going to go underneath that V. Ooh, somebody need to help it along a little bit. So there, my hook's underneath that second V. Now we're going to grab our thread and pull it through just underneath the V. So now we should have 2 stitches on there. And then I can just grab the thread again and pull it through both the stitches. And that is our single crochet. Now we're going to repeat that section till we're done, basically. So we're going to skip the next V, the next single crochet, and then I'm going to do 3 double crochets in the next V again. So for the double crochet, again, we wrap around. I'm skipping that first V, and I'm going in that second V underneath. There, helping it along there. Okay, so I'm going to grab my thread and pull it only through that V. So I have 3 on here now. With the double crochets, you end up with 3. grab the thread again, pull through the first two, grab through again, or grab the yarn again and pull through the last two. So 2 more of those in that exact same hole, wrap around through that same V, grab the thread, pull it through the V, and then grab the thread again, pull it through the first 2, grab the thread, pull it through the second 2. And 1 more. Through the V, through the first 2, through the second 2. All right, it's not really much of a V, or much of a scallop, I mean. Maybe I should do a slip stitch instead of a single crochet. I might have to backtrack, but I'm going to do a test. I'm going to try a slip stitch, which is different than a single crochet. So I'm going to skip the next one. I'm just going to pull the thread all the way through the loops all the way through my loop right away. So in theory, this should be shorter than a single crochet. We're going to do a little test. So, and then I'll do my double crochets in the next spot. So I might change the design up here a little bit. So we're figuring it out today, and then tomorrow I'll be able to plow through this. I am hoping to finish this completely tomorrow. So that means doing this entire crochet, and then also doing, finishing up the hoop and getting the chicken in there and everything. Okay, I'm gonna go back because I think this is better. Yeah, okay, so here I can see more of a little hump here. There you can see. I can see a little bit more of a hump there versus here where it's just like a wave. It's because in the dip in the dip here I did a single crochet, and in the dip here I just did a slip stitch, which is shorter basically than a single crochet. So we get that shorter little dip in there, and I think that's cute. That's the way to go. So we'll have just like these little itty bitty scallops all the way around. I think that's fine. Janelle says, or Jan Land is the best, says, yeah, slip stitch is a better shape. Yeah, I think so too. So let's do that. And I mean, yeah, I could do bigger stitches here. Like I could do trebles, which are like another wraparound to make it even taller stitch, but I think, we have this cute little piece. I don't think we need the scallops any bigger than that. So I'm going to take it out. So this is the fun thing with crochet. It's just so easy to like pull out stitches and like just go back a little bit. It's totally fine. You're just dealing with the one little stitch. So here's this chain stitch I'm pulling out. I'm going to stick my needle back in, or my hook back in, and just continue. So I'm going to just update my pattern again. Three double crochets and next skip, single crochet. So this one I want to do a slip stitch instead. I'm not writing this properly, but it's a good enough reminder for myself here. So, all right, those are our little changes. So, all right, so this is going to be a slip stitch instead. So instead of coming up and then doing another stitch, I'm just coming up and then going right through my original loop. There we go. And now we can do our double crochets again, 3 double crochets. We'll get a couple of scallops in here and then I'll head out for the night, since we're already a little over. So again, just as another reminder, spend $20 in the shop while I'm live here, or just a little bit after, and I will throw in a free mystery gift for you. You don't have to put it in your cart, and you don't need a code. If you do put it in your cart, I'll just refund you for it, as long as the rest of the order is $20 or over. But yeah, as a little thank you for joining me during these lives. I appreciate it a ton. It's you guys have like the best ideas, and I love trying them out here and crafting with you guys. So I'm gonna finish this scallop here, and then I think we'll call it a night. And we'll pick this up tomorrow, and we should have this whole thing done by tomorrow, I'm thinking. Fun little project. This will be a cute little gift. I'm excited. All right, I'm going to do that slip stitch, skip a stitch, and then
do the slip in the next one. There we go. And whenever I'm not working on a crochet project, I just like making my loop big, and I usually take out the hook, and I'll just stick the hook back in there. But yeah, that's much better. Look at those cute little scallops. You can see those now. That's sweet. Oh, and my little ends popping off there. I don't want that, so I'm gonna, actually, you know what? Maybe I'll even, I'm gonna put the hook back in. So I could glue this down and stuff, but actually, once this is back on the inner hoop, none of these pieces of yarn are gonna move. I'm snagged on something though, I feel like. But just while I'm stitching, so it doesn't come out, I'm going to throw this guy back in here, especially since we have those first few scallops done. Cute. Oh my god, we'll have to decide what we want for the front and the back, because this is technically the back, but it's looking pretty cute. Fun. All right, this looks great. So I gotta see what this is gonna look like. I can't stop yet. Let's kind of center our design as best we can. So when you have all of this yarn on your hoop like this, you are going to have to probably open this as wide as possible. You might actually have to take this out because you're adding like a lot of extra space on here. So that could be a little tricky. And as you push down, you might have to like shimmy your all your crochet back to where you want it and stuff. But it's gonna be so cute. My god, look at it. So you won't see any of this fabric because we'll have that all tucked into the end. Look how like homey and like retro-y, vintagey. It looks like this is definitely, we're going for that vintage vibe for sure with this. But these scallops are gonna be so cute. All right, I'm digging it. So we'll finish this up tomorrow. I'm hoping I have enough thread here. Otherwise, I do have the teeniest little ball of this, some more, and then I think I might have a little bit more. So I'm just hoping it gets us the entire way. A little scared about that, but this is fun for just using up scraps for sure. What about a half double crochet? Well, if we did a half double crochet, Caitlin, I think these would be even shorter. So a half double crochet is shorter than a double crochet. So I want the height in the double crochets and then like no height in like the divot part. So yeah, so I think this will work. If we wanted to go bigger, I would maybe do like a treble, or even just more stitches would maybe push it too, but I think the 3 is perfect for this size yarn. This one was 5. I did 5 stitches in the middle. And I do feel like they're more squished together, but this seems like it was a much lighter, thinner yarn. Not much thinner, but just a hair. Actually, it doesn't seem that much thinner. I don't know. Well, we did 5 for this, and I think this 3 is looking really cute. So, all right, that's the update. So we did groups of 4, and then we plus 1 right at the end for the number of stitches to go around. I think that's still correct. We'll see, I suppose, once we get to the end. So I chain 1 and then turn. Then I skipped the first stitch. Then I did 3 double crochets in the next stitch, and then I skipped another one, and then I did a slip stitch. So, and then I just repeat that. So, meaning I'd go back to where my asterisk is, which is the skip the next stitch, or skip 1, then 3 double crochets in the next stitch, skip 1 again, and then a slip stitch. So we're just doing that over and over and over again till the end, and we should just end up like, with the scallop being done, theoretically. So, okay. I'm ready for more of this. So, all right, you guys. Thanks again for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it a ton. We're going to finish this up tomorrow. I don't think we'll have any problem with that except for maybe running out of yarn. But at worst, we'll have like another little color right at the end or something silly like that. We could actually probably pull out some stitches. Like if we just had like 1 scallop left, I could probably just pull some stitches off of this hoop and kind of shimmy the scallops around so they even out, but I'm just hoping that we have enough yarn. But yeah, this is like just retro-y and cute. I think it's gonna, I like this color. It's just vintagey looking. I think it's fun. So anyway, this is exciting. I haven't done this in ages, and now I totally want to do that idea of like a cute little sunshine and then like a really like big doily coming out of it, like more like this, you know, so like an embroidery in the middle and then like all this decorative stuff coming out of it. I think that would be a fun project. So, all right, you guys, thank you again. I will see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. I'll leave the shop, that free mystery gift option open a little bit more in the shop for about 10 more minutes. And thanks for your orders and thanks for hanging out with me. Have a lovely evening, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.